Good afternoon and welcome to Championship Straight Pool, courtesy of ACCUSTATS Productions. It's Saturday, August 22nd. We're at the Roosevelt Hotel, downtown Manhattan, right in the heart of New York City. I'm Grady Mathews, and I'm privileged to have in the booth with me Jack Colavita. And I'll tell you more about him later. Jack, why don't you describe the upcoming contest for our viewers?
Well, we got Alan Hopkins, who just lost the lag. That means he's going to make the opening break against Jim Rempe. Alan I've known for years. I've known Alan since he was 10 or 11 years old. I came in contact with Alan when I was managing a billiard lounge in North Bergen, New Jersey. His father brought him over and wanted me to watch him and give my opinion of whether he had any capabilities. At that age there, I watched Alan play. I matched him up with one of the local players, and I seen real fast that Alan definitely did have that capabilities to become a top-notch player. And of course, with Alan's record, he proved me to be right.
And he's playing a great player in the form of Jim Rempe.
Definitely.
Rempe's got one of the best attitudes I've ever seen. He's a good common sense player. He doesn't make many mistakes, and he really plays hard.
And Jimmy, I've known Jimmy for quite a few years too, and I've never seen Jimmy get upset at the table. Always cool, calm, and collected.
All right, he's playing the 15 ball.
Right.
Difficult opening shot. A lot of times, whether a player makes a shot like this early in the match will determine how the whole match goes.
Yep, that starts it off.
But I want to tell our listeners a little bit about you. In the opinion of a lot of experts, including myself, you're probably technically the best straight pool player to ever play the game.
Well,
when Mike Siegel or Steve Mizrak want to know the right way to go about a pattern, if they're not sure, if they're practicing or something, they come to Jack Colavita.
Well, you know, that's... I'm honored to, to hear them say that. But, I've got a lot of respect for their game also, so everybody's got their own system, pattern or stroke or whatever. And I've always admired Mizrak's game. I've been playing Mizrak since he was 17, 18 years old. And he definitely was one of the greatest shot makers of all time, Steve. And when you talk about Siegel, you're talking about another great player and another great shot.
Now, Mike Siegel's still undefeated in this tournament.
Exactly.
And speaking of Steve Mizrak, he's playing Greg Fix from Minnesota, who's still alive in this star-studded event. Greg has surprised everybody, I think, with his play here.
Right. Well, Greg is the one that put me up here talking to you right now. He eliminated me from the tournament.
Did he play well on you?
Yeah, he played well. He ran a 53 and out at the end. He played very well.
Well, now, I've always liked Rempe's patterns. He goes through the balls with as much protection as he possibly can.
Exactly.
And Alan, of course, plays great patterns too.
I think they're moving the cue ball. I think they have some kind of similarity in their patterns and the way they move that cue ball. They move their cue ball with the least amount of effort as possible. Would you agree?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I think we're going to see a well-played game, which you might expect from two great champions on the second to the last day of the tournament. It's been a lot of fun here this week, too.
Yes, and...
this room's got a lot of history, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You got any good stories you want to tell about this room?
Well, I originally started playing at the old Commodore, which is called the Hyatt, Grand Hyatt now. That's the old Commodore. In 1964, I played in my first World's Tournament. And that was actually Lou Buterra's first World's Championship, and of course the great Joe Baltz's. That was his first year in. So we originally started there, and I think from there we went to the Biltmore Hotel. And the last X amount of years we've been at the Roosevelt. I think we started here with the old association of the PPPA, the Professional Players Association, which is not in business anymore.
Right. Well, the referees wear tuxedos and white gloves. We've got, we might as well talk a moment about the sponsors, too. Brunswick has provided some gorgeous gold crown tables with a black finish on
I
them.
think they call these the black gold tables. Is that the name?
Is that
of
it?
the
I
table?
didn't know
I think
that.
so. It's the black gold table. They are gorgeous.
And they played in near perfection. Of course, it's Simonis cloth. And Blatt Billiards, of course, one of the co-sponsors. This ballroom, though, has always had, I don't know, kind of a mysterious overtone to it. Been a lot of historic things take place in this room.
I'd have to agree with you.
And how many runs have we had? Over 107 at this tournament
Yeah,
so
I think
far?
so. And you're going to see X amount of more hundreds, I think. But when you talk about Brunswick tables are definitely synonymous with the game of billiards, pocket billiards. They definitely, in my opinion, are the best tables to compete on, is the Brunswick tables. And I think you'll get that from every player. They had a choice what table to play on. I think 100% would pick the Brunswick table. Do you think I'm correct?
Well, not 100%.
Well,
the 2 or 3% that wouldn't represent other companies, probably.
That's true too. I forgot there's other pool table manufacturers.
Now they've got a 45-second shot clock here, and it's sped up the matches very nicely. I remember several 4- and 5-hour matches from bygone years. This tournament, I don't even think they've had one go 2.5 hours.
Right.
And Alan went through this first rack beautifully. He's got a nice break shot here. Now he's going to have to draw this, so he's too close to the rack to follow it.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit it and pull the cue ball back. Well, he went off to the side. He broke them good.
Well, that's ideally how you want to break them. A lot of guys want to hit that break shot too hard.
Oh, no. I'm not a believer in hitting break shots hard. I'm from the old school.
Well, that was an ideal speed.
Right.
All he wanted to do was not draw it up to the other end and not go forward.
Yes, he didn't want to lose the rock. He didn't want to lose the cue ball.
He's in pretty good shape here. He can do about what he wants. He'd like to get on this 7 or 15. I think they both go. Of course, how you get into the balls a second time, if necessary, is critical too. Of course, now
Alan's a good picker of balls. It's like picking grapes with him.
He's going to move the 5. It's necessary to move the 5 in this rack. Now I think he's going to draw the cue ball a little bit. He wants to go into the 4, right?
Yeah, he wants to go in between the 4 and the 6.
Right, he wants to miss the 14.
He wants to split them. That's what he did.
That's perfectly done.
Right, he split them perfect.
Now if he gets rid of the 3 ball, which he can reach much easier than the 14 ball, then it makes it where the 1 and 9 go.
That looks like the shot he's going to take. It's the 3 ball, definitely.
And I think he'll probably play for the 14 ball next.
Yeah, he's going to come around 2 reels. Right behind.
Now let's talk about that for a minute, Jack. That's the right way to play straight pool. He has a layout here where every ball really goes.
Exactly.
If he gets rid of the 1 and 9, there's no reason for him to go into balls here.
No, you should just pick them off like I said before, like taking grapes off.
Now I'm assuming that he wants to use the 11 ball for a break ball. I think that's going to be his plan.
Yes.
It looks to me like if he gets rid of the 1-9, he could shoot the 10 in, and then the 6 goes. Now he's gotten on a 13 ball perfectly to obtain good position on the 1 and 9.
Yes, he can eliminate those 2 balls right from this position right now. The 13, the 1 and 9. He could.
Well, if he wanted to, he could get on the 1 at an angle where he could go into the 6, but I don't think he'll do that.
I don't think he wants to nudge any balls around.
No reason to here, really.
Well, I think he might do just what you just said. Does he have a little angle on 1 ball?
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to move the 6.
Okay.
I don't think he needs to. I think his plan is going to be play the 1, 9, 10, 6, 8.
Well,
let's see if he does
what's on his mind. See what it's on Alan's mind. He pulled it back. He's
well, now he's going to go into the 6.
He's going to shoot the 10 ball. Very good. Very good.
That's ideal. Now he can play the 11, 6, 8. Or the 6, 11, 8.
Yes, he's got angle on the 11, so he's probably going to go to the 6.
Or he could use the 11 for a break ball if he wants to.
They're both out of the rack. You can see the line. So he's got a choice there. Whichever ball he wants to remove after the 6 ball.
Now, I don't know what your preference is, Jack. I prefer a higher break ball.
I do, too. You do more damage to the pack with a higher break ball.
With less chance of scratching, right?
You're hitting a solid area there.
Sure, a lot of the young guys, they like the lower break ball. I don't really care for it.
No, the cue ball, it's got too much movement for me. You hit that high top of the pack, you do more damage, and your chances of scratching are very small.
Now, he took the lower break ball just because it was much easier to get on.
Right.
And just like that, it's 28-0. Alan Hopkins.
Now going back, Grady, I wanna stress the point right here that it's a pleasure for me to be up here with the booth with you.
Not as much as it is for me. I'm really looking forward to this afternoon.
You and I have played a few times.
Well,
and I know your patterns are very well too. You go around the balls very extremely well.
Well, I try to, but I learn a lot from you, I'll tell you.
Now, at this particular break shot, do you think he's going to pull the cue ball back, or?
9 balls.
I think Alan.
He's going to pull it back. He's hitting low. He's going to shatter him, either one.
You know what I don't like?
Yeah,
no, that's perfect. Going forward there, you get a kiss down there by the corner a lot of times, and one of two things bad can happen to you. You can scratch, or sometimes you'll get a kiss and the cue ball stays on the end rail, and other balls are on the end rail. You don't have a shot.
Yes,
this is almost foolproof the way he did it.
The way he hit this break shot is the way he hit the other one. He shattered him, and the cue ball went to the side rail.
Sure. Now I don't know what he's going to do here.
I think he's going to float it, maybe try and hit the 12 ball if that's a 12. No, he went into the...
Well, he's going to probably bank the 5 here. No, he's got the 13, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah. But this shot here could be missed at this angle here in the side. He's dead straight on the shot. At that point there, at this angle here, you don't have much of an opening pocket.
No, but he won't shoot this hard.
You got to float it in.
Well, one thing I've always...
Floats it in.
One of the things I've always liked about Alan's game is that he uses the best speed, the optimum speed at all times. I like what he's doing here. I don't like going into the rack off the 8 ball here. Yeah, he's going to plan to shoot the 8 and then break him up with the 6. I think that's the best way. You know, as I sit here and watch Alan go through these balls, Jack, I'm inclined to think he might be a little better player moving along at this kind of pace.
Yeah.
He's always been a very deliberate player.
Yes, that's true. It looks, you're right. You know, I didn't notice it, that his game has speeded up a little bit.
Yeah, but he looks like he's playing with confidence.
Right.
Now, he's all right here. The 12 goes, but he's still got work to do here. He's got the 4 ball for a break ball if he wants. But he would like to get over on the other side of that 14 and 15 because they both go in the same pocket he's going to play the 12 in.
Right.
He may draw this back and plan to play the 3 in the same pocket. I like that. Now he can just lag this in and he'll be able to get rid of the 14 or 15.
Right. He's got to float the cue ball down. It's a little finesse shot right here.
Well, he's going to change his mind and shoot the 4 maybe.
If he shoots the 4, Grady, he's going to try and have to manufacture a break shot there.
Yeah, but I like what he did there because there's no way to miss it. The other one he had to lag, and the 7 and 14 and 15 all go.
If he's got angle here, Grady, I think he could pull it back behind the 14, get a little angle. He could push either the 11 out. Yeah, he's going to push out a shot, and he'll have he's got that guaranteed 15 ball there. He shouldn't go bad.
I think he'll go into the 11 here.
Yeah, I think he's going to go and push the 11 out. You're right.
He went a little higher.
A little harder,
yeah. But now, correct me if I'm mistaken, he really doesn't have much choice here. Now he's going to have to use the 11 for a break ball.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any reasonable way to to knock anything else out here,
No,
do you?
no. Well,
he's going to have to play the one on the side. That's going to be his key ball.
And the whole trick here, he's got to get pretty good on the 10 to do that.
Sure.
He did. He did.
He can just roll the 10 in here and have a pretty good angle.
He got pretty good on the 10.
He's looking at playing the one in the corner, but I don't think he'll decide to do that. He just wants to go forward.
He's shooting it in the corner. Well, he's got the perfect angle there to drop right behind the 11.
He sure does.
Got it.
All right, 42-0 in favor of Alan Hopkins. You played one of the most exciting matches. I tell people about this match sometimes that I've ever seen against Mike Siegel. Mike had you, I think it was 147-3 or something.
No, the score, I'll never forget it. The score was 123 to -2.
Okay.
It was in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
And we were playing in Philly.
Anyway, what happened, Mike missed a ball, and you had your sunglasses on, and you'd never say a word when you played, but you had been sitting there not opening your mouth. And when Mike missed, you just calmly said, and the audience could hear this, Mike, this game's not over yet, you know.
I remember the words.
Anyway, it ended up being like 148 apiece or something, and Mike came with a great shot off the end rail to win the match. Now he's gotten a perfect angle here. He can use a nice high ball here and go into these. He'd like to
shatter them pretty good. Yeah.
He'd like to hit the high side of the 14 here.
Yeah. And from there go into the balls.
Just like that. Boy, he didn't get much action on him, did he? Well, he's going to have to shoot the one ball.
I don't think the 14 goes.
No.
And he's gonna have to stop the cue ball there and then shoot another long shot.
Yeah.
He's not going to do nothing.
Well, you
but
know what
just
I
make
think
the ball.
happened to him there, Jack? I think he had a just above center ball instead of that good high ball stroke, because he didn't have any high ball action on the cue ball at all.
Sometimes, Grady, when I get a shot like that, what I do is I elevate my stroking arm just a little bit to get a little hop off the cue ball.
Well, I'll have to try that. I never knew that.
Yeah, because I'm afraid when I level off, I'm not going to get do the damage I want. So when I jack up a little bit, I get that little lift off the cue, and it shatters the balls much better. In my opinion.
That's interesting. I'll try that when I get home.
But you got to hit it with that certain speed. If you hit it too hard, you jump over the balls. You go past the balls.
Sure, right. Well, this is Rempe's first decent opportunity at the table.
Yeah, and I think that he's got the 14 to start with, maybe. Or the 6 on the side.
Anyway, I was going to finish off what I was going to say about that. I don't know that I've ever seen you shoot something at a warp speed or a real hard force. I've never seen you knock one off the table.
I try not to shoot that hard. I'm from the old school. When I was young, I always watched Moscone play and Crane play and all those guys, and I got indoctrinated not overhitting balls.
Sure. Well, Jimmy made a nice shot there.
Yeah, he's got to make another nice one where, he's got to let the cue ball go a little bit here.
Well, here goes through rail.
Yeah.
And the reason he did that, for anybody that might be interested in playing high percentage pool, by using the low right hand or outside English, he kept his make percentage on that ball at 100%.
And his chances of getting a fluke scratch anywhere at 100% too.
You're right.
Right.
There wasn't any chance of that.
Creasing off a ball or something.
Now, Jimmy's in pretty good shape here. He needs to get rid of this 14 ball. But he could use the 3 for a break shot, the 4 goes, or the 10 or the 2 are possible break shots.
I like Jimmy the way he goes through balls. He hits it with a good firm stroke.
Yes, he does. You're right.
When he hits the ball, it's a good firm hit.
I don't think he meant to go quite that far up the table. But he's all right here. I
Yeah,
think
he's going to stop it for the 3 or kill it a little bit, give a little kill stroke. No, he went over the 7.
Yeah.
7. I didn't see the 7, right.
Now, you know what he could do here? He could play for the 4 next and get an angle on the 14 and
Right.
get on the other side of that 10 and 2, and then the rack is easy.
Yeah, he's got quite a few good options here for a break ball once he opens up the pocket where the 10 and 2 are.
Sure, he's ideal here. All he's got to do is draw this back. He could even go there now if he wanted
Yeah, he's going to eliminate either the 2 or the 10 right here from here.
And then the 4 will be next, and then and that's a pretty good last couple of balls when you've got a break shot on each side of the rack. He's going to play the 10.
He took off every one of these balls without hitting another ball.
Right, and that's the right way to play.
Right, that's the right way to play.
While we're talking about it, that's usually the right way to play 9-ball. And of course, straight pool helps your 9-ball game.
Exactly.
I don't know anybody that plays good straight pool that can't play 9-ball too. Now he's going to force this off the rail.
Right, bounce out.
Just below center, left.
Good speed. Good speed. Good speed.
All right, the score is 46-10 at the moment. Advantage Alan Hopkins, but King James at the table.
Now Jimmy's going to do the same thing Alan does on this shot. He's going to pocket the ball and pull the cue ball away from the pack. Jimmy does that. Jimmy hits that shot well.
He will hit his break shots a little harder than that.
A little stiffer, right? A little bit more stiffer.
3-ball.
Not that he's not going to blast it or anything.
And he hit it with a good speed.
That's
good
the
speed.
Perfect way to play it. Look at how little cue ball movement he got, Jack. That's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's one of the better 9-ball breakers in the country too. When he cracks that rack, that cue ball doesn't move too much after he hits those 1 ball on the head.
Well,
he's got very little movement.
He wanted to get rid of the 9-ball there, because that would have made the rack pretty easy.
Right.
Now he's going to have to shoot the 11 and come up for probably the 1 ball. And perhaps he'll go high enough where he could have the 1 or the 9. And that's a good point too, Jack. To really play top flight straight pool, when the balls are open like this, a player is well advised to play position on more than 1 ball when he can.
Exactly.
That way you avoid getting in trouble. Now he's going to have to play the 2 ball. He didn't mean to do that.
Well, sometimes that does happen. You try not to hit a ball, and you go into a ball nudging it.
Well, he was over a ball. That's
yeah,
what made
that makes it difficult. A little difficult.
Well, it's not a bad idea to get rid of this 2 ball anyway.
I like getting rid of those lone balls down that other pocket real fast as soon as I can. I don't have to worry about it no more.
Now he's got the 14 ball. He could go into the 13 here. What he's got to be careful of is not getting above the 6 where he can't hit the 1, right?
Right. Yeah. If he does shoot the shot, I don't think he's going to hit it with a nice, not a hard stroke, but where he knows he'll have the 1 next.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's not necessary to blast these.
No.
You break out 1 or 2.
He
like
just
that.
nudged it out. That's all he did. Now, what I would do here is from the 1, I try and go into that little cluster, and he shouldn't go wrong. He's got the 12 ball there. He should break up this 4 ball cluster from here.
He wants to make sure he hits the 7.
Yep. Yeah, he did it perfectly. He had that 12 ball there. It was like an insurance shot.
Now he might have an angle to shoot the 12 in and draw back into the 8 and move the 8 out a couple inches. That would be ideal. And he's got the 13 and 10 there for safety.
Right. If he gets good on the 7, that's probably what he'll do. He'll kick that 8 out, just like he says. And he's got the 5 ball there, the 13 on the side.
Now, he might not have that angle. We'll know in a moment.
Nope, he didn't. He's gonna do something. He will manufacture.
Well, I like what he's doing here.
Right.
I think he's going to play the 9, and if he can, he'd like to come back between the 7 and 4.
No, he's going the other way.
Okay.
He's going the other way. He's going behind the 10.
What he wants to do, as I see this, if he gets straight on the 6, then he can just hit the 7 and nudge the 8 out. He's got the 5 there, which is ideal. That's what he's looking at.
Yeah, and he could probably see that 6 ball if he could get rid of it. I call that a trouble ball. You know.
Sure.
It's way away from where you want to be, and you get rid of it. That's what he's doing. You're right.
This is even better than straight in because when you get straight in, of course, you'd have to be close to the rail with the cue ball for the 7 ball.
Yeah, it's easy to control to keep your angle on this shot too. He's gonna
He might have gotten. Well, he can't move it out.
I think. Well, he might have got too straight then.
Right.
Might have got too straight. Well, if he's too straight, he's gonna have to change his plan of attack and pick out another break ball then.
He sure is.
With a slight angle, Jimmy's got a good, beautiful stroke to get a little extra out of that cue ball to kick a ball out. I've seen him do it so many times.
Well, he needs to move it about 1.5 inches. I don't know if he's got any angle here at all.
It looks like he's dead straight.
If he had any angle, he would have already shot this.
Well, let's see. It looks like he might be able to try and punch it out. No. Well, at this point here, it looks like he's going to use the 4 ball as a break ball, or is he going to draw into the 8? Let's see what he does here. Try and kick the 8 out or draw behind the 8. No, he's going to use the 4 as a break ball now. Behind the pack break shot.
Well, that's his only choice.
He had no other choice there once he got straight on the 7. Now, where that 4 ball is laying, would you prefer to try and lay it on the rail, or?
Yeah. I don't like to go off the end rail into the back of the stack. It's a touchy shot.
Yep.
Very easy to misjudge, but he may have to take that because I think he's gone a little past straight in.
It's going to be hard for him to try and drop that cue ball below the 4 where it's at.
I don't think he can.
He's gonna have to hit it, go into the rail, and then into the pack. Yep.
All right. The score is 46-24. Jim Rempe on a 24-ball run. Now here, I'd be interested to hear your views on this. Which side of the stack do you go into and why?
At this point here where the cue ball is, I prefer to go on his side of the end ball, which is, I can't see right here. I try and hit the 11 ball here, because to go to the other side, the 3 ball side,
well, you have to load it up with inside English. I was glad to hear you.
I don't like to do that.
Right.
I don't like to do that.
And again, by shooting the shot the way you described, he keeps his make percentage on the break ball fairly high.
Once you start putting that little spin on the cue ball, funny things can happen.
Oh, sure. And he would have to put a lot of spin on it to get to the other side anyway.
He's letting the cue ball go where it normally wants to go. You want to try and catch the weak part of the rack, which is the 2 and the 11 side.
Sure.
You don't want to hit dead center.
Right. Dead center is catastrophic.
That's a snafu as far as I'm concerned. See, dead center, but he came out of the pack.
He's going to get a shot.
Yeah, he came out of the pack.
But he didn't mean to hit the center, I don't believe. No. A lot of times you stick right on that rack if you hit the center.
Nothing happens. It happens a lot. I'm not crazy about those behind the pack break shots, unless it's above and you're below.
Right.
Where you can load the cue ball up a little bit.
All right, this is not too tough a shot. Pockets are fairly forgiving.
You got it.
Nice shot. Now with the 6 line where it is, Jack, he can go into the 13 here with just a medium speed. I mean, he's going to shoot the 7. And I think that's probably the right shot.
You mean you think he should go into the pack right now with the 7?
I would. No, yeah, right.
Yeah, I think he is.
And he would like to hit the high side of the 13, right? He's got the 6 there, just like that.
Yep.
It's pretty hard for him not to have a shot.
Right. He hit it good. You were right.
Now he's got some choices here. He could try to break them again with the 13 or the 1.
I think the 14 goes too.
14 might even go.
I think from here he's going to the 6 on the side. It's the simplest way to control the cue ball.
Well, if he plays the 6 on the side, he can get on any one of those 3 balls, and the 13 is the worst one of the 3. I think you're right. If the 14 goes, that would be the right shot.
Yeah, and he's in a good position, like you say, to play either one of those 3 balls.
Now, being right-handed, of course, he wants to make sure he can reach his 14. So if that's the way he's going to go, he'll follow this out.
He's going ahead, right? Bounce out. He's going to shoot the 8 next. Unless he has a combination there, but it doesn't look it. But
well, he had a worse angle than we thought on that ball.
Right. Looked like it was fairly straight from up here.
He's going to study it for a moment because he wouldn't like to make a tactical mistake at this juncture in the match. I think he'll just pull this back a little bit and play the 14. Well, the 14 must not go, Jack.
Yeah. He's going to go into him with the 13. It's a pretty secure shot because he's got like a glove pocket there where the cue ball is going to hit a solid mass of balls, you know?
Yeah, he won't scratch anything.
You know what I mean? There's no way he could have scratched on that shot. He was hitting a dead center.
That's a beautiful stroke, too. Now, he's got the 1 or the 11 for a break ball, and of those two, I think the 1 is clearly superior.
What he's got to do is just open up the pocket as soon as he can with the 1 and 11.
Right. But he needs to move to 12 so that if he needs to, he can get on the other side of those.
He's going on the other side. No, he's going to kick it out. He hit it good. He hit it good. He hit it good. He hit it good.
Now he's looking to see if the 1 goes. His plan would be to use the 1 for a key ball. Now the only question is which one. He may even try to nudge the 1 a little more here. Nope.
Does it go? Does the 1 get by the 11 in the
It's hard for me to tell,
yeah,
and I'm sitting right on top of
it.
But the 1 isn't a bad break ball either.
Well, then, if you know what, Grady, I like the 1 better than the 11. It's higher.
Right. Well, you and I both like high break balls.
Yeah. And the 1, and he could use the 11 ball as a key ball too. Boy, he's even got a behind the pack break shot. He's got actually a few choices there.
Well, where he got perfect on this 14, he may elect to. Well, he can do whatever he wants
He's
to.
gonna. I think. Yeah, he's gonna use the 11 ball as his cue ball, get his angle, and just float the cue ball behind the 1 and out again. He does that.
Know.
He does that well. I
he
think.
Looked at
you
that
think
like,
he's going on the other side?
No, I think he's going to play the 1
in the side.
No, in the
no, he's
corner.
using the 11 ball.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he had so much room to swing around the 1 from it. Sure. You know, it wasn't a tight area shot. He's
low
gonna,
right English.
Yeah, he's just going to pound it out just a little bit. The spin will take it out.
Very nice.
He did it good.
All right, score 46 to 38. Favor of Alan Hopkins and Jim Rempe on a run of 38 balls.
This is what you predicted before. It's going to be a nice tight match.
This is Mosconi's old break shot here, Jack. If he can hit the high side of those 2 balls, Mosconi used to play the cue ball back and forth across the table with a little high inside English.
Yeah.
And if you don't use the high inside, then it wants to scratch.
That English stops it from scratching. It sort of like takes a dip and takes it away from the side pockets.
Let's see how he does this.
He undercut it. He undercut it.
Well, I'm surprised at that. That's one of Jimmy's strengths. He makes almost all the break shots. Alan's looking at that. I've done that before. I really get mad at myself when I do. You look at it casually and you think you can see the darn ball, and you don't look at it closely enough again, and you get up there and shoot it, and you don't even have room to make it.
The mistake I've been making lately, Grady, is that sometimes, which I know is no-no, and I tell other people not to do it, is when you get down there and you're ready to fire, you better make sure it's in your mind to know how to hit the ball.
Sure.
And sometimes I get down there and I'm doing what I'm telling them not to do. I'm not decided. I'm undecided while I'm stroking.
Oh, that's a terrible thing. You're
right.
practically always unsuccessful when you do that.
Otherwise, you're just not concentrating on what you're supposed to be doing.
Sure. That's just like I see some people in 9-ball or 1 pocket. They'll play a shot where they can't make up their mind whether they're trying to play safe or make it. I mean, usually you have to do one or the other.
It's what you call an in-between kind of thinking thing, you know?
Sure. All right, Allen's in pretty good shape here. He's got the 7 or the 11 for a break ball.
Mm-hmm. And they're all spread out pretty good.
Now notice he's going to get rid of this 1 ball at the other end. I learned that from Lassiter. I mentioned it on an earlier tape. He always felt that if there were more than 1 ball at the other end, it was okay to leave them a lot of times. But when there's 1, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah, real fast.
Now, he wasn't what you'd call a precision straight pool player, but he won a lot of titles, and a lot of times he would leave the key ball at the other end.
Lassiter was a great shot maker. Lassiter did things that really amazed me on the table. Really amazed me. His ability to do so much with a shot.
Sure.
Wimpy.
Now, I like him shooting. That's perfect what he did there. Now he's got the 11 for a key ball. He's going to use the 7 for a break ball.
Right.
Now might be a good time to go up and get the 5. Just come 1, 2 rails. That's perfect.
You know, up to this day right now, what always amazes me about the game of pool, pocket billiards, or whatever you want, or whatever amazes me is the thousands and thousands of people I've seen and you've seen play, and it just amazes me that everybody has a different stroke, a different bridge hand.
Sure.
You know.
Well, the black bore guys, they make a hell of a cue anyway. They have a theory that there are about 4 different kinds of strokes, and they design a cue for your particular stroke, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, that's something new to me then.
What they've got is a bunch of different butt sizes, different tapers, different types of shafts.
Okay.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can take a rough guess as to what the 4 different kinds of strokes might be. All right, you got Hopkins, who has 1 style of stroke.
Right.
And matter of fact, DiLiberto, Hopkins, and me, we all have short bridge style
exactly.
games, right? Then you got guys like Kim Davenport and Earl Strickland who have big, long,
Swingers.
flowing strokes.
Right.
Then you got guys who have what you might call a middle-of-the-road kind of stroke. You have that probably, right?
Right.
And then you have a guy like Buddy Hall, right, who's a little different. So what they say makes a lot of sense to me.
In other words, right, they fall into 4 categories. Different type of swing
they
on
may
the
have
stroke.
Expanded it to 5 or 6.
Right.
Last time I talked to him, it was
That makes
4.
sense, though. It does make sense.
Now he's going to have to bounce this over 1 rail, and he did so very nicely. Tough shot.
Yeah. Hit it with good speed.
Sure did. All right, let's see what our score is. The score is 60 to 38 in favor of Alan Hopkins, and he's on a 14-ball run. But you know, they do that in other sports, Jack. They design tennis rackets, golf clubs, even baseball gloves.
True.
They design it specifically for a player.
Whatever feels much comfortable for them, right?
15.
That was very nicely done. Now, given a choice, I kind of prefer the high ball break shots anyway.
And you and I are under the same kind of thinking there, right?
He's in pretty good shape here. He would like to maybe get on this 8 ball and then the 2 and 6 out of the way, right? And then the rack is pretty easy. As soon as he moves the 6, the 3 goes. He's got the 13 for a possible break ball, or he may end up being able to nudge those balls, the 5, 10, or 1.
See, Allen's game and Rempe's game are fairly close to similar. You know, in the way they go around balls, they try not to hit balls too much. The only similarity between Allen and Jimmy is their stroke. Allen has a little pecky stroke, and Jimmy has a little bit more of a swinging stroke.
Well, the one advantage that Jimmy has is that if there's any kind of real tough draw shot,
Well, Jimmy,
you can make it.
Jimmy can load up the cue ball.
Right.
Alan
has a little trouble with the draw.
Loading it up, right.
Now he'd like to get rid of this 12. That's the only problem ball, really.
Well, he's got he's got the 1, 5, and 10, which are fairly close together there. Well, he hit him. He went into him. They're not a problem anymore.
No. And he's got the 10 for a possible break ball, too. I don't see any particular problem here. He's going to play the 13. He can't play the 3 because the 5 doesn't go.
Right. Oops. Doesn't look like he rushed that shot a little bit.
And he didn't stay down on it
right.
either. All right.
He like two-stroked the ball. Or
I'm very surprised there. Well, you know, what really surprises me, Jack, is that he didn't take a little extra time and decide to shoot the 14 because that was pretty unmissable.
Remember what we were just talking about before when you're stroking and you're undecided what you want to do?
Exactly.
I think that happened at that point right there.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Because Alan doesn't miss shots like that when he really bears down on it. It looked like he rushed the shot and he wasn't decided what to do with the cue ball.
Well, now Jimmy has the 10, 15. The 15 could be his break ball. It's certainly very easy to get on. And now
he's going to kick out the 15 a little bit.
That
was
ideal.
A good shot.
Very
good
shot.
Good shot.
Now, as you suggested earlier, the only problem he's got, he wants to get rid of the 9 ball. It's not really a problem, but it would be a good idea to get rid of it.
Well, he's going to go 13-9 now, probably.
Sure.
Get rid of that 9 ball. Grady, aren't you scheduled to be around the Jersey area pretty soon doing your thing?
Sure. I'm going to be around for about a week in October.
What rooms are you planning to go to?
I'm going to be at Crown Billiards.
Crown Billiards.
Let me think. I don't remember all the places. I'm going to be in Norristown, Pennsylvania. I don't have my schedule with me. All right, he's kind of center field here. He's going to play the 11 in the side. And probably 1 rail here. The 2 rails is a little unnatural.
I think he wants to get rid of the 14 next.
Right. But the 1 rail like he shot is right. And he's fine here. He can just draw this back a foot or a foot and a half. Yeah. He'd like a slight angle on the 10 anyway. That's fine.
Yep.
Wouldn't have minded being a
just drag the cue ball out, hitting it low, just drag it out behind it, 15 ball.
And this is one of the nice straight pull shots. Takes a good stroke, and his having to stretch for it makes it a little more
difficult, right?
But he did it perfectly.
He hit it perfect. Hit it perfect.
All right, the score is 66-46. Advantage Alan Hopkins, and Jim Rempe is on an 8-ball run.
Now this is the break shot I prefer the most. The best.
This is ideal.
Yeah,
sure.
This is the best break shot I prefer. This is the type that I try to get to all the time. Because you could load up the cue ball a little bit more now.
Sure. Well, if I had to change one thing about it, I'd like to be about an inch
behind
over.
It.
Yeah,
right.
where you cut it slightly
right. You get more weight of the cue ball into the pack. He's got the. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Well, he's got the 9 on the
ball.
side. Now here, especially on receptive pockets such as these, if I'm going to play the 9, I like just. Well, he could make the 14.
Well, he
obviously.
could. Well, maybe.
I like just pulling the cue ball over to the side rail for the 3 and 6. I don't like lagging this.
No, just pull to the side rail and go down for the 3 or 6.
You don't have to blast this or anything.
No.
But just hitting a high ball here, he could get in trouble.
He's rolling it.
See, that's what I didn't like.
Oh,
about it.
he went off the ball.
See, you know what's awkward about that, Jack?
Right.
Let's see how many he made here. Anyway, how thickly he hits the object ball is going to affect the direction the cue ball goes, right?
7 ball.
Well, I think he's still at 46. And Alan can get 13. Anyway, I'm really surprised that Jimmy did that because the other way, it's only slightly hard to make the ball, but you're 100% to get the position.
And he got that one fluke kiss to put the cue ball in the pocket from that one ball.
Well, no, you know what he played to do? He played to miss a 12.
Okay.
I'm sure that he didn't have any intention of hitting the 12.
But I think that I would have did it like you. I think I would have pulled the cue ball slightly, just to make sure I went into the side rail a little bit.
Well, you know, you get in these pressure
I know
situations.
that.
It seems like if you don't know where the cue ball's going,
Right.
you get in trouble.
I hate that. I hate it.
All right,
I
Alan's
hate
still got a little work to do here.
8 ball.
He might play the 8. Well, I would look at maybe playing the 8-3-4, which would make the rack easy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind shooting the ball up at the other end of the table if the pockets are pretty good size.
Now, I want to ask you something, Grady. Do you go down for that 14 as soon as you get the right angle to go down for it?
I would, because I don't
Exactly.
like to leave it there.
Right, because the more balls you take off, the least your chances get smaller and smaller to go down there.
Sure, sure. And you sure don't want to have it be one of the last 2 or 3.
Right.
Jack, he's going to go down there.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't know, though. He
Well,
might not.
he's got angle. If he's got angle, he should go down and get it right now.
Well, he might. Okay.
What you don't want to do is get straight on it. I do that a lot, going down for a
Oh, I
single
think
ball.
everybody does. Well, he's okay here. He's
Yeah,
going to
he's
plan
got-
to get on the 3
well,
and
he's
then
got
shoot
angle.
the 4.
He's got angle.
He just like to be about straight in on this 3.
3 ball.
Yeah,
All right. Just stop the ball. Well, he went forward farther than he meant to.
yeah.
Now,
cue-
if he cuts the 4 in, he's got problems because he's going to
cue
go off
ball-
with the 1.
The cue ball moved more than he wanted it to move.
You can't shoot this hard. You might scratch off the 1 in the corner, and you can't shoot it easy because you're on the end rail.
Yeah,
So the answer is he's probably going to have to shoot the 5 or the 9.
right.
Can't shoot the 9.
I don't like the 4-ball shot.
Well, he's not going to like it either as he studies it.
5 ball.
So he's got to be a little careful here on this shot. He's got to float it. Okay.
9.
Yeah, he had to change his game plan a little bit.
9 ball.
Now he's going to go into the 1 ball. I don't think he wants to hit the 10 here. 1 ball is perfect. Now he's got the 13 for a break ball. Now here I might, well, he's going to play the 4-1-10.
4 ball. 11.
Geez, I don't think he played for the 10 here, do you?
He did. He did. He did.
All right, well, this is all right. He can just
He's
draw it.
using the 1 ball as a break ball.
And you know, Alan likes the behind the rack
Mhm.
break shot. And barring only the pocketing of the 13 ball, the score is going to be 79-46 favor of Alan Hopkins. Well, that's
He's
perfect.
got good angle.
13.
Now here's a shot here. Some of the guys want to hit this too hard. It's not necessary to hit this hard.
No.
I try to break out 4 or 5 of them with this shot, and the most important thing is I almost play a billiard off the back of the rack, and I want the cue ball to go to the side rail and then spin out, right?
Right. You got to put that little spin on it to bring it out again. But you're right. I agree with you. I'm not for blasting the balls.
Yeah, there's no reason to blast this.
1 ball.
He's hitting the weaker part of the rack, and the cue ball comes out fairly easy.
That was perfect. He hit
Right.
the 6 ball,
Good
which was
speed.
the second ball.
Good speed.
And that's what he knocked out. He actually got 7 balls out, which
Good speed.
is ideal. And the problem here, Jack, as I see it, he doesn't have a real comfortable way to go into the balls a second time.
I would never have shot that shot because as soon as I break the balls, I try to get a hold of the cue ball real fast. And I just don't like letting it loose real fast right after the break shot. I'd have started with the 2 ball because it would have gave me a firm, solid hold on the cue ball. That's the way I play. I just don't like letting it go real fast.
Well, I'm glad you're being honest with our viewers. I know how much you hate to turn the cue ball loose at all. I'll tell you what, this isn't risk-free here.
I'm not crazy about it. He's because of being on a rail.
Sure.
Rail.
Well, if he's going to play this, I think the way to do it is hit it easy
Yep,
and
right.
try to hit the 12. That would be the... Now that could happen, see?
Yep. So long gate coming up, the 11 ball, down the corner.
11 ball.
I was kind of surprised at the way he went about this rack.
18.
He's in a little trouble here, Alan.
Well, he's probably going to play the 9, which is not too hard a shot.
See, that's what I meant. That's what I meant real fast when he broke the balls. I wouldn't have selected to take the 8 because you had to let it loose a little bit. The 2 ball would have gave him a firm hold on the cue ball. That's what I like to do. I hate letting that cue ball go.
Now he's got to be careful here now. It's funny how these shots can do.
7 ball.
If he hits this not the proper thickness, it's possible to end up without a shot here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming if he's going to shoot
The 10 ball?
I like what he's doing here. He wants a little more
I
angle.
think he should get rid of that 4 ball now. He
Okay,
is.
you're right. That's what he's going to do. Well, the 14 goes here too. If
Yeah.
he could get an ideal angle on that, that might be better.
Plus, he's got the 2 and the 3 there for a little bit extra security if he comes back too far. He could work from there, you know, which is what he did.
Now he could break him with the 3 or the 14 here. Looks like he's going to use the 3 ball.
He's using the 3. He nuts it perfect. Now we can, with the 14, split those 2 balls up.
Well, I think he'll play to hit the 12 here. I don't think he'll try to hit the 15.
Yeah, he's got that angle where he could just pull it by and just nudge it down. Well, he's looking. It looks like he's going to take the 5 first.
Well, that's not bad.
Right.
You know, he would like an angle.
There he goes.
Now he can hit the 15
Right.
and shoot this as easy
Right.
as he wants to, right?
Right.
The 15 should come down an inch or 2, and he should have protection on the... Well, I'm surprised at this.
Oh. You're right. You're right.
Do you know he's playing to knock the 15
He
down
wants
for
a
a break
behind
ball?
he wants a behind the pack break ball.
Well, you know, he gets in a mode sometimes, Alan does, where he tries to get every break shot behind the rack. And he's had some success with that. But the problem here is he doesn't have an ideal key ball. He's going to play the 12 and the 2.
And the break ball is very close to the pack.
12 ball.
Yeah, that sort of surprised me there, where he took the break shot that was there already and pushed one down behind the pack.
Well, that's what he likes, that break shot.
Did he roll up too far?
Score is 93.
He might have.
46.
That's why it wasn't that great of a break shot. It was just too close to the balls. You had to get perfect for it.
Well, you know, Jack,
You had to get perfect for
that
it.
other break shot looked to me like he would have been able to get on that 100% of the time.
The one he removed, you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't
Well, he was in a perfect position to spread those two balls out there, too.
sure. All right, our score is 93 to 46. Alan Hopkins, who is on a 27-ball run. Well, he can see it, I think. Now this is a tough shot. You know, if you try to hit this with power and you use the high inside English, it goes off the stack straight in the pocket. Sometimes a cue ball, I mean.
Yeah.
Now here's where you can't use that little hop that you like because it
Right,
really.
you can't do it here. Right.
I know it's going to come close to that corner.
He's got to be satisfied to be shooting a long shot now.
Well, that's about all he could do. You
Right.
certainly couldn't
Just
use the
shatter
outside
him.
English.
All he had to do was just shatter him, which is what he did. He's going to have to pop one in now.
I might lag the 11 in here because you're going to be perfect on
Side
the 1.
pocket. He's going to side pocket with the 10, right? Full behind the 11. Good shot. Good
That
shot.
was an excellent shot.
Good shot. Good shot.
Now the 2 is dead also, if I'm not mistaken.
He's looking at it.
Well, I don't like the 11 here because,
It's a little bit too high, right?
well, he's got to go into the 12.
Yeah, and not too much can happen.
And if he hits the bottom side of the 12, he could end up without a shot.
2 ball.
I like this because the 12 is going to disturb the 3. I mean, he's going to break the balls out, right?
Yeah, that's what he's shooting, the combination.
30.
He's got the 11.
I don't know what kind of angle he's got on the 11. He could play to break him up with the 6 next,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
if he's got a little angle.
he could get a good hold of the cue ball, so he could do what he wants to do, actually, with the shot, Alan.
It was ideal for that.
Yeah, just slid it right down. Now,
here,
this is where I do that little punch stroke.
I'm going to work on that when I get home. I like that.
This is, I just elevate just slightly just to get a little hop off the cue ball, and it shatters the ball. It's pretty good, you know. He had a nice, had a nice pocket there for the cue ball to
Sure.
go through.
Well, he's in great shape now, except he doesn't have a good break ball. The 9 is perilously close to being in the rack.
0-33.
And if he wanted to get on the 5 to nudge the 9 out a little bit, he would first have to make the 12, right?
Right.
Let's see how he plays
I don't
this.
think Allen's gonna try and go for another behind the pack break shot from here.
Well, the 7 isn't lying good.
Yeah, it's
for
not
that.
ideal though.
Steve Mizrak, I think, is running some balls.
He's on a 28. He's got 75, so he's a little over 100 balls right here. He looks like he's in command of his game.
Yeah, he's leading 103 to 33 over Greg Fix.
3 ball.
Well, he's got a little work to do here. Now, the 4 ball is not a bad break shot here, but the problem is it's not a real good key ball
You
to
know
get on
what?
with.
You know what I think he's gonna do? I think he's gonna leave the 14 for a side pocket break shot.
No, I don't think it's. No, he might, but
Well,
I think it's not. It's a little too far up the table. It needs to be closer to the side, doesn't it?
The only reason I'm saying that because 2 shots before that he was right on the 14 to shoot in the corner with the 3 ball near the side, and he had to do nothing to remove it. You know, nothing with the cue ball to get this next shot. I'm just wondering why he left it down there.
Well, I think he's going to use the 12 here.
I just don't understand why he left the 14 down there so long. Well, he's coming down to get it now.
Yeah, he's going to plan on using the 12.
Then what he's doing, I don't like the key ball he's leaving, the 1 ball, but that's going to be his key ball.
Well, he may change his mind.
No, he's gonna shoot the 14, so the one ball is gonna have to be his key ball to get on a break shot. He's okay.
Yeah, he's just
He's
right
okay.
there. And our score is going to be 107 to 46 favor
He's
of Alan
okay.
Hopkins. Now this one, Jack,
Mr. Hopkins on a run 41.
you just use a little high outside English and hit it a slow medium speed, don't you?
Well, it depends on how I'm going to catch off that top ball. What I try to do here, if I'm hitting a solid top of the pack, the two remaining top balls in the pack, I hit mine with a center ball and hit it with a stiff stroke. But the cue ball doesn't move too much, but it shatters the balls. That's why I would hit this shot. He's going to slide off him just like he did.
That's the way I like to play it, with a little outside English and just slide
Yeah.
off of it.
See, I use that little jack-up stroke on certain shots, and that's where I would have used it, where I shatter him. I don't like losing the cue ball down there. I don't want to be down there.
Well, I don't like it to go that far.
Well, right now, even with this shot here, he's got a little work for him.
Well, he's going to have a hard time getting the next shot.
Right, exactly.
He might have to play to go into the 5 ball here with high
You're right.
left English. That's the right
He
shot.
got the 4 ball.
Yeah, but it's not getting easier. Now,
He's jacked up.
he may have to plan on playing the 11-2 combination. I can't see him going into the balls here, can you?
He's got a problem just trying to make the ball from what he's, the way he's bridging. Came out
that was
good.
a nice shot.
Came out
that
good.
was a nice shot.
Came out good.
But he's still only the 11-2 go anywhere.
He's still got his work cut out for him right here.
The 14 will go on the side if he gets a perfect angle.
Oh, he caught the end ball.
I didn't think he could hit it that
Yeah,
thin.
he really put a lot of reverse on that cue ball.
That was a good shot. And still, they're not broken up.
This rack here is going to be a little. This is one of the toughest racks throughout the whole game.
Sure. He may go 2 rails here inside the 15 and try to get a little better angle and plan to break him up with the 15 while he's still got the 14, right? That's what he played to do. Now he'd like to just go into the 1
sure,
and 7.
Because I don't think he wants to remove that 14 because it was a good pull-out shot in case he went into the balls, and
Well, he
they
is
didn't
gonna
break too
move
good.
it.
And he's going to have to remove it now. And hold that angle for the rail shot.
Well, I don't know. This is a tougher angle than the other one. Now, if the 10 went in the corner, I think that'd be the ball to play on. He's looking at it, but I don't think he's got a full pocket.
Right.
It might go.
It's tight. Grady, it's very tight.
I don't think the 5 goes in the corner. There's nothing dead. But going into him from here is very awkward because you can't use a high ball. You can't draw it. It's got to be hit with just above center.
And you got to hit it with a little authority,
Right.
too. He's going down below the ball.
Well, he played for the 10.
Yeah, well.
But he can't play it in the side.
And the corner is tight. Very tight.
He's on the wrong side of this 10 ball to make it in the corner anyway. If it's a half a pocket shot, when he cuts that ball to his left
Right.
and puts a little right English on
He's
it,
going to hit the 3.
makes it a tough shot. He's looking to see if Rempe's on a foul, which he's not. Oh, he is on a foul, excuse me.
That's that ball he ricocheted off before earlier.
Right.
When he shot the 9 on the side.
And I'll tell you what, I know Jimmy would like to have that shot back.
He's putting him down by the other end of the Brunswick.
All right, Alan has 114. He ran 48. Excuse me, it just took a foul. It should be 113, I think. Well, now Jimmy's forced to do something. And I don't see that he's got much except trying to thin the 9, do you?
No, you're right.
Or the 10.
He's definitely going to try and fan a ball.
Of the two, the 10 is the best safety, but more difficult to execute.
Exactly. Looks like he's calling his shot.
Safety call.
Oh, no, he's hitting with that soft stroke. He's hitting with the soft stroke.
Well, he left the 7 ball.
And the 10 might be good, too. Maybe. Maybe.
Well, you know what I don't like about the shot Jimmy shot there? There's no way to win with it.
Right.
But it could cost you the game.
Well, he did give him a shot with the 7 ball. Definitely.
Well, if nothing else goes, then he's okay.
I think the 10 might go, Grady. Or maybe the 5.
Alan
5 ball.
calling something. Yeah,
5 ball.
5 ball.
5
Okay.
ball. 5 ball. Five
Now
ball
he's going to play
combination.
position on the 9 here, I think. Yeah. Now he got where he can hit the 8, I believe. And of course that's what he'd like to do, but he's got to be careful here too. I think he's got to hit this hard enough to go to the end rail
And back
down,
again. Come back up again.
unless I misjudge the angle. I don't think he can roll this because he'll end up on the end rail.
You did.
Had to hit that a little bit harder, huh?
Yeah.
It's amazing how good
It's a trick. Yeah, up here.
up here. That's what I was going to say.
Up here, right?
You could play well up here.
Yeah. And you see a layout so well up here.
Sure. Well, you know, I learn things from these tapes. They're great learning tools. And I like the fact that everybody's so good-natured.
You hit
and
that
everything,
good.
You know?
You hit that one good.
Sure. Well, I don't know here. He may have to play the 3 on the side.
6.
Just
After the 6, you mean?
after the 6, yeah. Unless he's got an angle to follow this up, he'd rather follow it up. But he's saying to himself, now I got to cheat the pocket a little bit in order to follow it up.
It's going to shadow. No. Yep.
All right, now that he got here, Jack, you know what I like here? Since he got here, I like hitting the 3 on the side,
And
nudging
pushing
the
the 10
out,
out.
and just playing the 1.
Maybe you think he's going to do that? Yeah,
I don't know.
He's looking at it. He's
We'll have
looking
to
at
see.
it. I think what he did is he pulled the ball back a little bit too much,
Yeah.
Alan. He's going to... Well, the 3 must go, or 10 must go. I don't know what he's going to do from here. They're both in a pack, that's for sure.
Well, if the 3 is dead off the 10, he might be able to get a break shot here. And if so, the shot I'd play for, I would try to do one of 2 things. I'd either try to knock the 10 up on the side rail. What's he doing here?
7.
All right, he didn't end up with anything.
20 to 45.
But our score is 120 to 45. Advantage Alan Hopkins, and Jim Rempe is on 2 foul. Mizrak's in complete command.
Complete, right, complete
He's
command.
leading, he's almost out over there. Greg Pick's only 33 and on a foul. Don Murin and Mary Kinnison playing a close match. It's currently 45 to 43. Now, what do you do here, Jack, with your opponent on 2 fouls?
Is he on 2?
Yeah, Jimmy's on 2 fouls. You got to push somewhere.
What would I do here? Well, you got a loose ball down the other end. You can't send him down there. I think I'd shatter the balls just a little bit. Just like he did. Just shatter him a little bit. He's got an easy safety, so he has no problem, Jimmy.
Well, what would Jimmy have done if he'd have put him on the rail where he doesn't have one of those patented safeties where you hit the second ball?
You mean Allen?
And Jimmy couldn't hit the 10.
Yeah.
He would have been in a lot of trouble.
Oh, sure, definitely. But once Allen left that 10 down there, he couldn't send him down there anymore. Maybe Allen didn't realize he was on 2 scratches at the time.
That's possible. But now the situation is reversed. Jimmy may have a little edge here.
Right.
He's looking to see if he can play the safety where he hits the 4 ball.
I don't think Allen's going to hit him hard. He's just going to shatter him. That's all.
Safety not allowed. -1, Mr. Hopkins.
Okay, now you're Jimmy and Allen's on 2 fouls. What do you do?
Well, what I think I would do is I just try and put him down a little below the 2 ball, but try and freeze the cue ball on the rail where he can't do too much with the cue ball. He can't grasp it with the cue stick. He'd have to like float the cue ball into
Now
the
he's
balls.
looking at just what you're suggesting here.
There's no way he can. He's got to try and carry a cue ball or a ball to a rail, Allen, there for the safety. Well, he's keeping him on the balls, Jimmy. Jimmy kept him on the balls. Jimmy kept him on the balls.
Steve Miserak, 75 and out.
All the way from Rochester, Minnesota. Finished tied for 9th.
I left a shot. I think Jimmy's going to go for it.
Now, you know what's important when I teach sometimes, when you shoot combinations, you got to pretend that the first ball you hit's the cue
Isn't
ball.
there. Right,
You
exactly.
would want left English
Right.
on the 13 here, so you use a touch of right on the cue ball. And of course he wants to hit at a slow medium speed. Another thing, Jack, for some reason on almost all combinations there's a natural tendency to hit it too thick. So I played to overcut this slightly. So he's using a little right English, played to overcut it,
He
and
hit
he
it.
split the pocket.
And the safety play always comes down to the same thing, whoever makes the first mistake.
Sure. Well, he's going to play the 9 on the side here and mix up the 3 and 5. I don't see any other reasonable
That's
shot
what
here.
he's got to do.
Just a high ball and a slow medium speed. He won't shoot this hard.
Hit it good.
Okay, the 14 goes. He's hitting this with a high ball to make sure he's got a shot the next time. He's got to get into the balls another time. Now, it's critical when you're behind in the match like Jim Rempe is here to get through this first rack. That's the hardest rack, I think. I don't think it's the last one. I think it's the first one.
Yeah, you just got to start pocketing balls.
He's got some choices here, Jack. He could play for the 3 next if he wanted to. I kind of like that shot. If he's got the angle to just draw back and get on the 3.
He's not going to draw back. You see it. He went into the
Okay, he
balls
went
again.
into him. Well, that was high percentage. He had the 1 for protection. Now he needs to get on a 13 ball.
And like you said earlier about Jimmy, he plays, that's his game, you know, high percentage of protection shots.
Now here, I would shoot the 10 and go 2 rails and play the 13 next, not the 8. I'd leave that 8 there for a little while.
Right.
That's perfect. Now you got to be careful that you don't split the 11-15 and go in the corner. So I think probably the right way to play this, if you can hit it thick enough, is to just roll into the
15 ball.
He's looking at it. He knows there's a possibility of scratching. Even to make matters worse, if you happen to go through the 11-15, you could kiss off the 2 or the 3 and go in the corner.
You got all those options.
I think he's going to hit the 11 pretty thick here.
See, what you were saying would nearly came to pass.
Well, there was a tunnel there.
Right, the big tunnel. Big tunnel.
I don't think he caught it as thick as he wanted.
And
he
the
knew
thing
that
is,
was there.
And the thing is, he ricocheted off nearly 3 balls that nearly set him in that tunnel.
And that was the other bad thing, was that if you don't scratch, you're going to have a long shot probably, unless something ends up on the end rail too.
That's exactly what happened.
Now he's got a lot of work here, Jack. He's going to have to take a behind the rack break ball. What do you think here? You play for the 6, you just pull it back a couple of inches?
It's a little tight, yeah. That would be the ball to play for. It's the 6 next, you know.
I can't see him trying to follow this or anything.
No, he's gonna.
Yeah, that's ideal.
He can. He could even knock out the 15 from here.
Right.
The 6,
but
the 3 next.
He wants to make sure that he hits.
Jimmy does that well.
Right
Jimmy
angle.
does that well, kicking out a ball.
He's got plenty of protection. He's got the 3 and 4.
Oh.
But that's what I started to say. You got to make sure you hit the other side of the 15 now.
Yep.
Now he's going to have to shoot the 3 ball.
He has no option there. He has to shoot the 3. But do you think he was trying to kick out the 15 there?
Oh, sure.
But don't you think he hit it a little bit too hard?
Yeah, he would have probably moved the 15 too
much
far
speed.
anyway. Well, that's easy to understand, though. He's got the adrenaline going. He's happy to be back at the table after being behind.
He practically went through, missing the balls again. He's got to shoot what now?
Well, he tried to move the 15
again. And he's laughing. Jimmy's laughing.
Now the 7-11 combination is, if he shoots that, he's going to have to play for another combination, maybe, or the 7 ball. This is a tough shot.
Yeah, it's no hanger, that's for sure.
What about hitting the 15 in and trying to move the 4?
Yeah, you mean kick it back up,
yeah, kick
it back up again, and have the 7 in the side pocket. And it looks like that's what he's going to do. Try and miss the 4, and come back off the rail and kick the 4 up. Came out good. He came out good.
Well, he's got a good angle on the 11 now. He wants to stay a little below the 7.
Good. He came out good on that.
And as we've seen so often in the past, getting to the first rack proved to be more difficult than you might first think. Now he's got an
perfect angle. All he has to do is just float it behind the 4 ball.
High ball. I like using a touch of the left English here. Not
perfect.
Just a hair.
Perfect.
All right, it's 118 to 58 in favor of Alan Hopkins. Jim Rempe on a 14-ball run. That's a great match going on over there with Mary Kennison and Don Murin. They're going back and forth, very close. You know, the ladies have made a big fan out of me, Jack. I enjoy watching their matches.
They've progressed so much in the last few years, the girl players.
Well, one day, pretty quickly, they'll be able to play with the men, and that'll be a great day, in my opinion. You remember what happened with Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King, what that did for tennis?
Exactly.
Now here, just make the break ball. Nice high ball. Hit it as hard as you want to.
He hit it good.
Well, that's probably going to do a lot for Jimmy's confidence. He got that nice, beautiful high ball stroke there. I think he's going to probably have to play the 5 ball here. He doesn't have a full pocket on the 15, the way he looked at it. And if there's one thing that's gotten me in trouble a lot of times over the years, it's been trying to make a half pocket shot, like the first shot after you break the ball.
Right.
You're better off to say, well,
let's pocket a few balls.
Let's make sure I stay at the table. Let's make a ball.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
That's what he's going to do. Not so easy.
No.
The 14 is barely cuttable.
14.
This is a tough shot. Plus, gotta be careful with the cue ball. That's a good shot.
Hit it good.
All right, the 3 ball is lying pretty well for a break shot.
Yeah, that would be the ball that he probably will use.
Now his next step is to get rid of the 2 and 15, which shouldn't be any problem. He may draw back for the 10 ball here.
In between the 10 and 6.
That looks to be the most natural course. Well, the 11 on the side,
Yeah.
if he wants to. That'll free up the 2 ball if he wants to do that. Or he could go down for the 9. He wants to get the 2 ball out of
Yeah.
the way.
That's what he's doing.
Now he needs to get rid of the 6.
Now he's
Right.
going down for the 1 and 9.
Well, here's one of the rare exceptions like Lassiter talked about. See, I wouldn't mind playing to get on that, to use the 1 as a key ball here because if you get straight in on any pocket.
Right. You got 2 balls down there to play with.
1 ball.
Now, since he decided not to do that, he's got a number of choices here. He can play the 9, 6, 10, 13, 15.
And he's going to get rid of that 6 ball now.
Well, here's what his plan is, Jack. I think the 6, draw it back a little bit, 13 in the corner, the 10, then the 15 in the side.
25.
And that'd be hard to fault. That's a pretty good pattern.
Yeah.
13 ball.
And he'll just draw this over to the rail and out.
Perfect. He's perfect.
Now here's another thing Rempe excels at. He would rather have this slight angle here because he can just punch it up 1 rail out.
I prefer the same thing.
Well, that way you're probably 6 or 8 inches closer to the key ball.
Yes.
27.
It's just a natural thing to come off the rail that way.
Sure. Now all he's got to do is lag the 15 in. And it's tightening up a little bit. The score currently 118 to 72.
Mr. Rempe on a run
Alan
of 28.
Hopkins with King James on a 28-ball run.
He's getting a good fluid motion in his movements right now, Jimmy. You can see it.
Well, what he has done, Jack, he's waded through the first couple of racks. And you know, these tables are pretty easy. I wouldn't ever feel like I was out of a match. I could be behind 149 to nothing. I'd feel like I had a chance if I got to come to the table.
This is that high break shot.
Yeah, this is, well, this shot here, I like just above center to make sure I catch the 13 thick enough where I don't go forward past it. But he can hit this as hard as he wants to. That's a nice shot.
29.
Yeah, he seems to be playing with confidence at the
Yeah,
moment,
you
too.
could see it. You could see it.
You know, experts have calculated the mental part of pocket biggest to be as high as 90%, and I can't argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice how you come out to play and you feel like $1 million? You say, boy, I'm healthy, I'm happy,
Right.
And by the way, I'm a good player, right? Well, you're going to play like that.
That's that confidence factor comes into play.
Sure. Now, this is a little touchy here, Jack, because if he goes to the end rail and back up, I don't believe the 7 passes the 4. Those are the 2 balls below the cluster. And if he comes up the table 1 rail, he's only got the 13. I think he's going to have to pull this around to his right.
Okay. I think that's what he's going to do.
I don't see that he has any choice here. That was a nice shot.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, he could play the 11-4.
And break the cluster up.
I don't see any better way to go into him here. It doesn't afford the kind of protection Jim Rempe would prefer.
Well, sometimes you have no choice. You just got to get those balls rearranged again. That would be the best ball to do it with, a 4 ball, that's for sure, from where he is. There's no effort here. Oh no, he got, looks like he's fairly straight on it.
Well, he's got a little angle.
Yeah, but not much. Let's see. I think he's going to force it in there and make sure he's got the 7 ball next.
Right, with a little draw.
No, he
he
pulled
went
it
ahead
back,
and
see?
played for these.
Yeah, he's going to break him a different way.
He's going to break him with the 8, I suspect, now that he got here. He's going to shoot, yeah, right now.
Yeah, he's going ahead with the cue ball.
That's a good shot. But he's still got a break ball to work with.
And he's still got some, just a few problems down there, that's all. Yeah, he's got to work on a break ball.
Well, he could slow spin this in and play position for the 7. I sure wouldn't go into him here, would you,
No,
Jack?
definitely not. There's no need to go into him.
That's what I like right there. But he's a little lower than he wanted to be.
Yep. He's got to back cut the ball in.
I think he can hit the 12 thick enough with, well, he can hit it high. All right, still no break shot.
No break shot yet. Not what you call a good break shot.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking around for a way to move something over. He can't risk trying to move the 12 now or anything.
With the 15, no.
No, that's way too risky.
No, that's too risky.
He might consider trying to get on the 10 and move the 6 over, but that takes a perfect angle. You know, a shot a lot of guys never shoot is you get on the 1 with a slight angle and move the 12 over.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. Just try and move it over to the other side. Well, he's in a little position here if he gets right to move the 6 out. If he gets right on a 10 from here. He's got to get right for it though, because the 10 is so far ahead of the 6. You know, it's not close to it.
We're all cheating. Sally Rempe's over here smoking with us. We're not supposed to smoke in here, but I'm going to break the law a little bit. They can come and catch me if they have to. I think that's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to get the angle on the 10.
That would be the spot to do it in.
I think he got the angle too.
Yeah, now he's perfect because he pushed that out. He's got the 9 right there, and he's got those two balls, the 12 and the 13, so close together. It should be perfect.
You know, I love this part of the game, Jack, where you have to nip and tuck.
He got it out.
What a nice shot.
He punched it out perfect.
A lot of knowledge involved there. Now he's in pretty good shape.
I'd say so.
I like the 9, 12, 13 here. What do you
I
think?
like the same way.
Just come over one rail with maybe a touch of inside English.
Doing very little with the cue ball here.
And just like 9 ball, we've talked about it before, as little cue ball movement as you can get. Well, as little object ball movement as you can get, too. Now, he got a little awkward here.
He's got an angle going down table. He's going to have to go down and come back up again and get on the other side of the 12.
13 ball.
Now, that was natural the way he did that. That's a terrific
He's good.
shot.
He's in good shape.
But I'm sure he didn't mean to be exactly
No,
there.
I doubt it.
Well, this match is becoming more interesting by the ball.
It's getting closer and closer.
And we're going to change tapes. The score is going to be 118 to 86. Jim Rempe on a 42-ball run.
Good shot.
All right, here we are back to live action. 6-ball in the corner. 43. I think that's one of the greatest feelings in the world when you're playing a great player and you're at the table and the referee says 7-ball, 123, right? And the other guy's seated over there powerless. That's a nice feeling.
Yes, it is. That's what you call being in control.
Sure. Now, I think he'll shoot this 14. He won't go into the balls here. There wouldn't be any reason for him to do that.
14 ball.
He's going to pull this over for the 5-ball, probably. Oh, he did go into him,
44.
but with precision, so there's no problem.
What I like the best when the referee says playing for 1 and I got 5 hangers to shoot.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, he's probably going to shoot the 10-ball here. That's a ball he wants to get rid of
Correct.
anyway.
Correct.
And the 4-ball will be his next shot. No, he 7's next. It doesn't make a lot of difference. You said earlier that everybody has their own individual
Exactly.
style. There's probably 30 ways to go through this rack here.
True.
Now the 4-ball. And he can break them up again with the 12 if he wants to. I know he'd rather do that than, or he could do that.
I think he did it a pretty good way where he knew he'd have the 3-ball there.
Oh yeah, he was in good shape there.
I mean, the balls would have to break pretty bad for him not to come out with a shot right
Sure.
at that point where what he did.
Now the 1-ball is an excellent break ball. You know, Buddy Hall, we mentioned on the 9-ball tapes a lot of times, he's got a great saying, which is when you have position, don't play it, right? And here, I find one of my biggest weaknesses is I'm unwilling sometimes to accept a pretty good break shot like this 1-ball. There's no
Right.
reason to try to move anything here. Just make up your mind that the 1's going to be the break ball and make it a
Yes.
significant part of your game plan,
Yes,
and then
don't
go
try-
about your business.
Don't try and get something better. Make something better, right? Don't-
Right, you can get in trouble
Right,
like that.
Right. I think what happens there is that your confidence is at such a high level that you feel you can't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but you can.
You
It's funny.
can, right.
Even just nipping the balls,
Right.
bunting them around, you can get in trouble. He's looking right now where he'd like to be for the 15 and 8, which really are his only remaining problems with
Right.
this rack.
Those 2 balls.
And of course, I think we'll see him go through the remainder of these balls. He'd like to not run into any balls.
Yeah, because they're all loose enough where he doesn't have to go into them.
I think he can go up for the 15 ball right now if he wants to, 2 rails.
Well, now, see, his decision here is play for the 15 that way.
Rempe has taken his bathroom break. Each player is afforded 1 5-minute break. And certainly this is a critical juncture in the match. I like this. I like this. I don't see anything wrong with it to do there. Is that how it's done? If you take your bathroom break, they give you a nice hand for making a hanger, right? No, I'm just kidding. Crane used to be the best at that. He'd have a dead one in the stack that you couldn't miss under any circumstances, but he'd walk around the table 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
and finally he'd shoot it in, and the audience would think he made a hell of a shot. The knowledge part of what Jim Rempe just did is what mattered. The pocketing of the 11 was no big deal. But the way he went about it, that's noteworthy.
Oh,
9 ball.
that's what you call show business.
That's right. Well, you know, in show business, they have ladies and gentlemen whose shows are a little bit subpar, but their stage presence is always felt.
2 ball.
There's a lot to be said for the way something is presented And a case in point might be Minnesota Fats. I'm not sure that he was ever possessed of one scintilla of pocket billiard talent, yet he could fill concert halls.
Right.
Well, he's not out of the woods yet here. That 8 ball is an awkward ball. Now here, Jack, you know, unless I'm sure I can get the right angle on the 8, I would rather stay above it, because then I can go
Right.
1 rail or 2 rails or stop in the stack.
Right.
I mean,
you got a choice. He's taking the 8 ball. And, well, yeah, he's taking the 8 ball and coming around again.
well, that's okay, because good players can get on that 1 ball from virtually any angle on this 13. Very nice.
See, Rempe does that key ball shot just like he had there. I've seen Rempe play many times. He does that a lot, but he controls the cue ball so well coming off that rail with the right speed and everything, you know.
Well, we're watching a great match here. It's 118 to 102 in favor of Alan Hopkins and Jim Rempe on a 56 ball run, and they may well run the set out.
1 ball.
Now this isn't total draw here. I like
He's
just
going to
below
shatter
center.
these balls.
Yeah,
He's going to shatter them.
that's nice. That's
He's going to
just
shatter
the way
'em.
to do it. That's
57.
textbook straight pool. Now if the 11 and 2 go, he's in pretty good shape here.
Yeah.
Where the ball's to the immediate left of the spot area. He could actually break up the stack with either one of them, and if so, if they both go, he'll go 2 rails or 1 rail. Either one is acceptable. Well, he's a little hard.
He's got the 9 ball. I guess he felt like he couldn't go wrong over there, you know.
Well, the 10 goes too far as
Right.
that goes, but I know he wants to do something with these balls.
9 ball.
Now here's the same shot almost as the break shot. Oh no, he's not going to shoot his eye.
9.
And he's got to be careful if he shoots the 2 ball.
Yeah, funny things could happen there if he shoots it 2.
When you scrape along the bottom part of a cluster of balls, there are bad things that can happen, aren't there?
Yep. He's pulling it back. He's going to pull it back.
Well,
60.
he's got a shot on the 14, but we prophesized that pretty accurately.
It wasn't a secure hit on the balls from the 2. You know, you're
No, and if
catching
he
the
hits them
side of
thinner,
the ball. You're
if he
not
hits it
hitting
thinner,
them.
he could scratch, right?
Right.
Well, I wouldn't try to hit anything here. I would just try to make this, just no English at all. Save a high ball, which he needs to use anyway. Uh-oh. Well, he got 4 to 106. Well, you know, that's kind of interesting, Jack. You're not always going to be that accurate, but we have foretold the trouble spots this entire match before they happen.
Well, he had a few options there, you know, and that ball just didn't look like that secured, you know, to be the time to hit the balls with, you know. He might have been thinking, you know what, it might have been on his mind, he might have been thinking, hitting the balls that the cue ball would slide down and he'd have the 6, you know, from that 2-ball shot.
6 ball.
That might have been on his mind.
But shots like that, these are very generous pockets, and the thickness or thinness of the hit will determine how thick or thin you go into whatever ball it is you're going to hit after you pocket the object ball. It's hard to judge sometimes.
Well, you know, just a few minutes ago we were talking about the confidence factor, and you feel like you could, you know, after a while your confidence gets so high that you feel like you could do things and
Sure.
not go wrong, you know.
Well, I really thought
But
Jimmy
you came back and told me you can go wrong because of the confidence factor.
Sure. I thought Jimmy had run out there, though.
He was hitting him so good, you know.
I don't know. It's so critical the way you go about going into the stack for the second time. It may be, you know, the most important shot in straight pool.
Right.
5 ball. 6.
Well, he doesn't have a real good key ball to get on the 4 with here, which is going to be his break ball. He's going to have to use either the 13 or the 11. He doesn't want to use the 3 ball.
The 3 ball is a ball that you want to get rid of real fast.
Sure.
Being on the reel and that far away from the break ball.
Well, now the 3 is more
It's
usable.
right. Now it's more usable.
And I think that's going to be his plan.
He's going to go 11, 13, 3.
Sure.
11, 13, 3.
Now he'll pretty much just stop the ball. He may
13 balls.
go forward just slightly. He sure doesn't want to draw it any.
He pulled it back a little bit.
Well, he had an angle.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Thought he went, faded towards the 3.
Okay, it's 128 to 106. Advantage, Alan Hopkins. In the ladies' match on an adjacent table, Mary Kenniston.
Score is 100.
And it's still a close game over
Very
there.
close.
With Mr.
She's
Hopkins.
leading Dawn Murin 77 to about 66 or 67. So it's about a 10-ball difference.
4 ball.
All right, it's a nice high ball, break shot. This is your shot, just about here. Oh, that was very nicely done.
Well, you got a nice reaction from the cue ball on that one.
Sure. No balls are frozen. He's going to play the 3 ball here.
3 ball.
And he's looking to see where he can get. If he's straight in, he may follow down for the 9. I can't see him playing position for the 13 and the 6 ball here.
He's just going to do the little natural thing that he has with his shot. He went into the 12, stopped the cue ball from going anywhere.
9 ball.
Now he's got a nice break ball with the 5 ball here. I don't see any reason for him to go into balls here at all.
No more.
Everything goes.
13.
Well, that's all right there. That's not going to hurt
1
anything.
ball. 14.
Now you can,
Just pick him off.
yeah. Now he'll shoot the 12 here and play to
12.
get on these balls around the area of the spot and start picking those off.
50.
Now he needs to get rid of that 13 ball in the moment because that blocks the 10 and the 8 from going. If he gets rid of the 13 ball, the whole rack is easy.
Yeah. He's got the 11. I don't think he's going to do it after the 11, though. He can.
Well, you know what he's looking at here, Jack. I think he doesn't want to have to go into the 5. And
Well, he's all right now.
Yeah,
Now he's
fine
all right.
here.
You don't have to go into the 5.
Now the 2 will be his next shot.
13 ball.
Use a little inside English here. All right, he drew back. That's fine. Now see, I would use the 15 here for a cue ball on the 5, but he's gonna maybe shoot that. That looks pretty easy to me.
He could still do that if he wanted to.
15 ball.
Right.
Oh, boy, he got in trouble. He
might be able to make the 5 here. I think
Well,
so.
it looks like he's froze on the 6, doesn't it?
Well, he's shaking his head. That's a very un-Hopkins-like mistake there. That's just the kind of mistake he rarely makes.
Very rarely.
I think he might be able to make this 5 with spin. He's going to look at it closely.
5 ball.
You know, since he went ahead and shot the 15, I think his plan all along was to use the 8 for a break ball. I thought he could make it, yeah.
He got it. He got it. That was close.
Yeah. But that was his plan, to use the 8 ball.
2 ball.
Now it looks to me 2-7, 6-10.
You're right.
1.
And there's nothing wrong with using the 8 ball at all. That's a perfectly adequate break shot.
Mm-hmm.
7 ball. 6 ball. 6 ball.
You know what he could do here? The 7 ball's a good key ball. He goes 6, 10, 7. Takes a natural two-reeler.
Natural two-rail angle, sure.
Natural two-reeler around out for the 8.
10 ball.
He just stopped the ball, pull it back a little bit.
That's
like
right.
so.
Get his angle.
Now, one thing Allen doesn't do is shoot opposite-handed. He wants
7 ball.
to be able to reach this.
You can hit it.
Oh, he tried to go one rail.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take a two-reeler out there.
But I stress over and over again to young players, Jack, if you're going to learn to play good pool, learn to play a little bit opposite-handed.
Right.
That's a big edge.
It's
there.
a big edge, is right.
All right, it's 142 to 106. Allen Hopkins.
24.
Allen on a 24-ball run. And, you know, Allen got careless a couple times that rack.
He did. He did.
First, by getting where he could barely make the 5, and second, by getting a little out of line on the key ball.
I think that's where the confidence factor comes in again.
Now, I started to say, if he doesn't hit a shot here, Jim has got a chance to win this match.
That's right.
Now, this is tough, Jack. Rempe's a great player. He only needs 44,
Right.
and you only need 7. Do you take a whack at this bank, or you play a safety?
How many do I need at this point?
Well, Allen only needs 7 balls.
I think I'd have to go for it. I think you'd have to go for it too.
Well, in some respects, it might be like betting the game on this bank.
Well, you've got the chance to win. You may lose on a safety play.
Well, you've got a point there. Well, Allen, well acquainted with the ramifications of this type of endeavor. Oh, he played the
You
cut
overcut
in.
it. You overcut it.
All right, just like that, Jim Rempe having a chance to win.
He's got a chance.
You know what he might have to do here if he's got a slight angle, which I can't see from here.
Throw
He
into
might
the
have to,
ball?
yeah, he might have to.
Draw into the
I mean, what's
balls.
reasonable to break
He
him up
doesn't
with
have
here?
anything real great. Just to shatter him a little bit, give him a few more options to shoot at.
Well, what would be perfect would be if he could go into the 2 here, but I don't think he's got that kind of angle.
No.
Maybe he's got an angle where he could draw into the 12-3. Maybe use a little right English along with the draw. Well, that's what he tried to do.
Nope.
Well, now this is the kind of shot I don't like. You probably can make it, but it's missable, and there's not a lot to gain.
Well, you have nothing to actually, as far as I'm concerned, you have nothing to gain out of this shot.
Right.
Irving Crane schooled me on that. If the shot you're going to shoot, you have nothing to gain, but can help your opponent, you just don't shoot it.
Right, right.
You just don't shoot it.
Well, what's bad there? Sometimes you go ahead and you make it. Now you get one of those cockeyed angles on the 13 ball. You try to break the rack up where you really shouldn't, and you go ahead and lose.
Right.
Well, we should see an interesting safety engagement over the course of the next few shots. Allen's going to have to just roll into the 12 here, or the 3. Try to nudge out a ball or 2. And he's done that.
That's exactly what he did. But it's amazing, though. Here we thought that the game would practically be over, but Allen didn't get to the 8-ball break shot. And like you said, that rack there, he nearly got caught up twice. I thought he was dead on the 6-ball.
I could see that he could make it, and the ball actually skidded on him.
And still pocketed
He
the
still
ball.
made it.
Aren't you deathly afraid of that skid when the ball skids on you? I
I try to play I call it an anti-skid game. I try to avoid that. Of course, plastic balls are going to skid sometimes, but if you use outside English, they don't skid much.
But you usually get it when you slow roll the ball. That's
Right.
when the skid takes effect.
Well, I'll tell you something.
Not when you hit it with authority.
I'll tell you something that'll help you that I learned from Efren. I've never seen a ball skid on him, yet he uses inside English all the time. But you know what he does? He hits everything low.
Oh, okay.
And even if he's not drawing it, if he uses a lot of inside,
Right,
he hits
he's
it
hitting it
low,
low.
and nothing ever skids on him.
It's when you hit that middle or high ball.
Yeah,
With the right.
with the inside English. Or sometimes it'll skid if you use no English.
Right.
Let's see what the foul situation is. It appears that Rempe's on 1 foul. I think he can risk brushing the 2-ball here and coming back about where he is now.
It looks like he's planning on shooting a shot there. He must have something to shoot at, Rempe.
Well, if he's going to play the 13, this is do or die.
Yep.
Tough shot.
Tough shot.
You want to use no English and just try to go a natural couple of rails.
Got it. Center pocket. Didn't
Boy,
hit.
he hit that well, didn't he?
I mean, that went clean in. Clean in.
That was a great shot.
I'd have to say he hit that with tremendous authority.
Sure. Well, a lot of times in straight pool, you got to say to yourself, look, I'm going to sell out if I don't make this. So
That's
why don't
right.
I hit it with a confidence-building speed? And just like this, Jim Rempe's got a chance to win this game.
There's 2 ways you can lose. You can lose by missing a shot or playing a bad save. I'd rather lose by missing a shot.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. All right, this is tough. He's going to have to get the bridge and shoot the 10-ball.
And that's a little, with the bridge, that's a little difficult right here.
Jimmy may use the extension. I think he's got an extension. Does he have an extension, Sally, that he uses? She says no, he doesn't. I thought he might have. That's a common.
He's gone to the bridge.
Now, there's another thing that surprises me. Jimmy carries his own bridge. He doesn't have it with him at this tournament. Oh, he's going to play safe? No, he's not playing safe, is he? Maybe
Yeah,
he
looks
is.
like he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he decided to play safe.
he's playing safe.
Well, I know Alan's got to be delighted to get back to the table.
Oh,
He probably
sure.
thought that it, there's a good chance Rempe would run out.
3 and 4 will be starting that match in 2 minutes. Those matches.
Well, he can't shoot at this. This would be a terrible shot to shoot the 5.
Oh no, Allen won't shoot that 5.
The 10 won't go. I don't believe that he's looking at.
Safety call.
I think he's gonna. Well, let's see. He made sure the 10 don't go.
He knocked the 5 up.
I think he's gonna send it down on the Brunswick. He's gonna fan it, and the cue ball's gonna be down at the other end of the table. Yep.
I like to hit that if I'm going to shoot that and make sure that I don't hit it hard enough to leave something dead.
Well, that's where you want. You know that. That's where you want to put your opponent when you can down on the Brunswick. Anyhow.
Oh, Jimmy's got a tough safety. Alan made a good shot.
Yep.
Is our microphone working today? Oh, come on. Is this working? Is the mic working? Is anything coming out? Apparently it's not working.
Which one? The
This
other
one here. Well, Johnny Irvelino came up and joined us. And
Jimmy's playing something.
he's playing the 5-ball.
5-ball.
If he makes this, he'll bring the house down.
He made it.
You know what he did there,
He
Jack?
made it. No, I didn't see it.
He played the billiard. And you could tell by how slowly the 5 traveled.
Right. I nearly got cut off, but it was a beautiful shot. I mean, tremendous shot. Tremendous shot.
You know, that takes so much knowledge.
Tremendous shot.
That was a great shot.
Oh, that was a great shot. It's right.
Try this. It's working.
Hello. Is it working?
You got him? Okay, good. We're delighted to have John Irvelino join us. And I've mentioned 2 or 3 times today, Johnny, how much I'm enjoying working with Jack. He's so knowledgeable in everything. He pretty much was Mr. Straight Pool around New York and New Jersey for many years.
He sure was. One of the most treacherous Jersey players I've ever seen.
Well, you only say that because he was so hard to beat, right?
Oh, was he tough.
And the New York players were tough to beat, too.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's
yeah.
for sure. I'll tell you something. I was very impressed with that shot he made there.
That was
I
a
mean,
great
pressure shot there and
That was
everything.
a great shot. Well, you know something? He played the billiard, too, and I'm going to tell you why he played the billiard. He didn't even hesitate about calling the 5-ball.
Right.
And he would have had he had to make that thin, crisp hit on the 5. Well, you know, I call those split shots. They come up in one pocket all the time, and they will literally save your bacon at one pocket in straight pool a lot of times. A lot of times a guy will leave you on the end rail, and he thinks he's got you locked up, but you got a good shot. Like you made one on me the other night. Well, I thought I had you in a pretty good spot. You made a very nice one, Johnny.
Grady, the old man, has still got a little sneaky stuff to him.
I'm surprised, fellas, that he hasn't done something with the 9 and 4. I would have considered that critical to get those removed at the first opportunity.
Well, this is where he's going to do it right now.
Well, what I would do with this is I'd lag the 2 in and try to play the 3 next and come up where I could play the 4 and 9 on the side. I wouldn't try to go into him here.
Neither would I, but I believe he's going to try to get behind them.
Right. He'd go up and play him in the side pocket.
He's got 2 balls to play with over there, right?
Yeah. Plus the 9 may go in the corner, too.
It does.
So he just needs a high ball here. And that looks like a good speed.
Yeah.
Might have gotten a little bit awkward here. He may have to kind of punch this 9 ball. I don't know. Now, if he could
4 ball.
If he could shoot the 9, Jack, and brush the top of the 4, I kind of like that play. What do you think, Johnny?
That's definitely a straight pool shot.
Or punch it like that. But if he can hit the top of the 4
and nudge it out,
yeah, that's got to be the way to go.
He did.
Beautiful shot.
He did.
Beautiful shot.
He did.
Well, you know, this Jimmy Rempe is a pressure player. He plays just super under pressure. And he's been doing it for years.
Sure. Well, that's why he's one of the winningest pool players of all time. I think he's won 70 or 80 major titles. All right, the score is 116 to 142. Advantage Alan Hopkins.
Championships last year. This week he ran 107 and out. Please welcome Mr. Tony Robles.
Tony's played terrific,
very well for a first major tournament.
And he's popular here, being a local figure.
New Yorker.
In his career, he's the Southwest Tour champion from Dallas, Texas, Mr. Dick Lane.
And Dick Lane had an 80-ball run. He defeated Alan Hopkins the other day.
Table number 4 from Owensboro, Kentucky. He's the number 1 seed in this tournament.
And Nick Varner is
He's world
preparing to
and a Hall of Famer, Mr.
engage in combat.
And his opponent from Metter, Georgia. He's the number 1 ranked player on the Pro Tour.
And his opponent's going to be Johnny Archer.
And yesterday,
and you know, Jack, I never thought that I would see a 9-ball player learn straight pool so quickly.
Well, he's such a knowledgeable player for a young player.
Oh,
Johnny
yeah,
Archer.
Yeah, he sure is.
16 to 100.
That match over there is going to be a tremendous match. In fact, they all are. All these matches are very toughly competitive.
Well, Johnny already won a straight pool tournament, a major one, the first one he entered, as a matter of fact. Okay. Now he's got a variety of choices here, how to go about going into the balls a second time. He may just shoot the 14 and go into him right the next shot with the 13. That's probably his best choice because of how the 5 and 8 are lying. That's what he's going to do. Now he can hit this with a high ball, fellas,
Right.
and hit it as hard as he wants to without any danger of anything bad happening. Looks to me like he's going to split the 2
Yeah.
and 9. He'll probably hit this a hard medium speed, like so.
He did.
That's well done.
Did they open up good for him?
Well, he's still got a few problems. If the 8 goes here, he's in great shape.
Speaking of Johnny Archer, it's the first time I've ever seen him personally, but I've read a lot about him, and I'm very impressed with what I read, and he proved to me what I read is true. But I think that Johnny Archer, going from a 9-ball player and playing straight pool so fast, he's going to be like, do you remember Harold Worth?
Sure.
Harold Worth was one of the great all-time, all-around players. He played every game well. And this kid impresses me that he's going to, no matter what game, even one pocket, he's going to play everything well.
Oh, sure. And that's a great comparison you made, Jack, because Johnny reminds me of Harold Worst in that he's a really quality human being.
Right.
You know, despite all of that talent, he doesn't have any of the artifice or shallowness that some of the young players who preceded him have
He's
had.
a very clean-cut boy, he's got a good image, very
And I'll
good
tell you
image.
something else about him too. If he gets a game that he likes, he'll light a heck of a bet under you and play you. He
And
will.
bet his own.
Now he didn't mean to knock that as far as he did. Now he's got a few problems. If he could shoot the 8 and nudge the 3, that'd be perfect, but I don't think he can do that. All right, he can't shoot the 10-8 and then nudge the 3 because he doesn't have he'd have to shoot the 1 ball next. Let's see what he decides to do. The 8 is high enough, I think, to be a break ball. So he's looking at shooting the 5 right now. But he doesn't have a natural path back and forth across the table because whatever that ball is, the 12 or the 15 is kind of in the way. And if he comes well below that, he could get in trouble.
Jack, what causes a lot of problems I noticed in this tournament, not being able to see that 45-second clock. It's very hard to pace yourself looking over the ball.
Until they hit you with that, you got 10
Until they hit you with the
seconds.
10 seconds, and then that just isn't enough time to fire.
Well, Johnny told me that they told him warning, which in this tournament has meant you have 10 seconds
You
left,
got 10
as he
seconds,
was
right.
getting out of the chair. Now, you want to talk about something that would shark you, that would do it, and Johnny's almost shark-proof.
That is something.
In fact, Johnny's so shark-proof, that they have a rule here in New York. If your opponent's not ready to shark you and everything, you got to give them a few extra seconds to get all set.
I think what they should do on the 45, they should modify it some way to give the player a little bit more time to know what he's got.
Yeah.
10 seconds, definitely, to be hit with 10 seconds, it's too short of a
Well, this
span of time.
has been an
Jack?
experiment, but I think in general it's worked all right. Now, Jimmy's gotten a good angle on this 11. He's going to use a 3 ball for a break ball. He'd like to get roughly straight in on the 5.
But
and
you did.
He's done that.
Perfect. He's just done it perfect. But again, back to that 45-second clock. I'm a firm believer in the old way of playing, the discretion of the referee. If he sees you're slowing
really
the game,
stalling, right.
You're stalling, then he gives you that warning.
Yeah,
Other
well,
than that,
But that
Grady-
hasn't worked. That hasn't worked before. The score is 130 to 142. Rempe on a 24-ball run. That hasn't worked in the past, Johnny. You remember when the Jansko brothers used to have a
Right.
dress code that you had to wear a jacket to the table there in Las Vegas, right?
Yes.
Well, now Don Watson, right? I loved Don like a brother. He would come to the table in a coat that looked like he just had purchased it from the Salvation Army. So technically he honored the dress code,
Right.
but he looked like hell, you know? And as far as the slow play goes, you run into the same thing that you always run into. Is it okay for Nick Varner to play a little bit slow and not a Joe Smith? Oh, that's a helpful nut.
25.
All right, he's got the 11 or the 12.
He'll definitely shoot the 12.
He's got to shoot the 12.
And I believe he'll come around the side to the 13.
Right.
This particular situation here.
If you could reach, see, if you could bridge comfortably, a lot of times I like to shoot the 11.
26.
It's just an easier shot without all that difficulty.
Yeah. You don't have to. You don't want to be worrying about putting your hands in between balls, right?
You got to move that a little closer. I'll tell you what I wouldn't do here, fellas. I wouldn't shoot the 11 now. You could get in trouble with that shot.
Well, he's going to shoot the 13.
Now the 13's got to be right, and I wouldn't be in a big hurry here to break these out either. He could get an angle on the 10 where he could get on the right side of the 14 and 15. He's got the 8 and the 11 that go. That's a nice shot.
27.
That's a very good
Mhm.
shot. Now again, I don't think he can risk shooting a 14 right now. Let's see what he
Which
does.
he is.
No, he's not. He's going to
No,
shoot
the 15.
14 ball.
15.
28.
I kind of like that. I think he's just going through this rack pretty well.
Mechanically.
Well, Jack and I have been talking this whole match, Johnny. You got to be real careful how you get into those balls the second time.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's one of the best at that particular ploy. He usually has plenty of protection balls.
11 ball.
Now he must think the 4-7 is easy.
29.
And I like this. The 4-7, if it's easy, you just brush off the 1. You got the 5 on the side.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to shoot that, apparently. He's going to break him with the 8, I guess.
Yep.
That's fine, too.
See, this is the kind of shot that I enjoy. I would roll down on the 7 ball, knock the 6 to the bottom rail, the 7 to the side.
That's a great
Yeah,
point. That's a great point, Johnny.
Yeah, the ball split up pretty good there.
Yeah.
This is not a good shot to go into the 4, I don't think.
No, 4 ball is dangerous. The 7 ball is no problem. Now this could become a problem. See?
Well, he's all right, but it could have been a problem.
Sure. You might have been forced to shoot a combination.
Let's see here. You know, fellas, he doesn't have a break ball, so he's got some work left to do. All right, I think he can see the 10 ball.
Table number 2, Mary Keniston over Dawn Murin, 185. How about a hand for Dawn Murin to play a great tournament?
That was a very close game over there between the two girls.
Yes, it was.
Well, Jack, these girls are starting to play much better than I remember.
Oh,
when they
yeah, that's
played.
what we were talking to before. A couple of years ago, they've really improved.
Oh, it's tremendously.
Now, he might be going into the 9 here, or the 7.
Flickered it.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has not been an easy rack, and he's got a long ways to go here. This is by no means easy.
No.
Well, that's why I liked that shot before. I believe if he would have rolled up on that 7 ball, this would have been a much easier for him.
He made a nice shot there. If he can draw back and hit this 4, a lot of his troubles will be
I'll
solved.
tell you, right now he's going to shoot the 14, spin the 2 out for break shot, have the 4 on the side, 7, 9, and get out.
Oh, good point. Yeah, if he's got the angle to knock the 2 out, I didn't realize he did. But you're right, that would be a great way to play it.
What do you think about that, Jack?
That would be the right way to play it, with the least amount of effort on the cue ball as
With
possible.
no effort
right?
at all on a cue ball. That's
Oh.
bad. Oh, no. No, it's tough again. He's going to come back up on his
He's
side.
he's got to come around on the other side now.
Well, he's got to get a perfect angle on the
On the
4.
4.
To nudge the 7 out and have a shot on the 9 in the same pocket he's going to play this ball in.
This shot tells the whole story right here. This shot tells the whole story. He's got angle.
And
Well,
he
he
hit
got
it.
the angle.
He hit it perfect.
Got
Got the
angle.
angle.
He hit that exactly perfect.
Right, he's got the angle.
Now he's got to be careful he doesn't hit the 9 too thick here. He wants to cut the 9 the same way he's going to cut the 4 here a little
Right.
bit and have the cue ball come off the 9 after it hits the 4 and just push the 7 out. He only needs about a half inch.
No, yeah.
That's what.
But he'll also be playing for 2 balls after he moves these 2.
Sure. But he's got to hit this real easy, Johnny. Unless he's going to punch it over. But, well, I tell you, you got to have good direction.
No.
Okay.
He's got the 7. You know what he's going to do? He's going to punch the 9 out for the corner and keep the cue ball in the rack. And
I
hope.
don't think he can hit the 9 that thickly.
I think so.
What if it could happen? He might make both of them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, well, then that will be something. No, there he...
Now he needs 2
Now.
balls.
No, it's 144 to 142 in favor of Jim Rempe.
38.
That was a tough rack.
Yeah, it
Tough
sure
rack.
was. But you know, I believe Johnny's right though. If he goes into the 7, I think it's a lot easier to rack there.
Well, what was it? What was he actually trying to do on that last shot with the 9?
Well,
Trying to knock it out for a break shot?
I believe he was just trying to get it near the pocket
9
or
ball.
get a little angle on that cue.
I don't believe he was playing an exact thing. It wasn't conducive. The shot wasn't laying good.
Yeah, right.
All right, here you got to make this and then play a safety. Allen's not on a foul because you got to make that because one ball, 1 point could win the
39.
match for you, right?
Right.
Safety call. Safety allowed.
Well, I would have to bet that Allen will go and take a chance to win this game. I refuse to believe that he's not going to.
He's go down playing the bad
go
safe.
down. He's going to go down not playing a bad safe. He's going to go down shooting. He might even try to bank this 13 ball now and win the game. Or try
He's
to win it.
looking. He's looking.
I know for sure Jimmy Fusco would shoot this bank.
Well, sure, he made
He
every bank
is
he shot at.
11 for 11. That's
Well-
probably a world record.
Well, he can't shoot at this with the bridge, though, because that makes it a lot harder to make. He's going to roll down on top of the 13, I think is what he's going to do.
Banking the 13 ball.
Oh, he's going to bank it?
He's trying to win the game. He's going to go for the bank.
Oh, it's a tough shot with the bridge.
He got it.
And he missed it. He missed it. He
Wow.
missed it. It was
All right.
missed.
Yeah.
Jim Rempe needs 5 balls. And just like in so many games, there's exactly 4 open, right? So he's going to go over and try to get on the 8 and 15 right now.
Hey, real fast.
3 ball.
Well, I think he's got to shoot the 8 here. Doesn't have to. He could shoot the 15 and go into the 5, but I think the 8's probably the right
Yeah,
shot.
he's shooting the 15.
All right, well, if he can get into him, my angle might be a little distorted.
Let's see what happens here. He's all right.
He's all right, but he didn't
Yeah.
have to be.
Right. He didn't have to be. He's right.
2, he needs 3 more, right?
I would go slide on top of the 5 ball and win with the 13.
That would end it.
Just to avoid everything else.
That's
That's right.
That would end it.
You're right.
Well, he's going the other way. He's going to end it with the 5 ball.
Well, he didn't mean to hit it that hard, I don't think, but he wanted to make sure he didn't go in the side or
Yeah.
something funny. Well, he couldn't have gone inside, but he had to make sure he drew it past 5.
13 ball.
All right, Jack, this is the spot you suggested earlier you wanted to be in. The referee says playing for 1.
Yeah, but I wanted 5 hangers.
Well, this is good enough, isn't it? This shouldn't be any problem.
Shot.
Jim Rempe.
Great game. Great game. Great game.
match. Well, gentlemen, it's been an extreme pleasure.
It's my pleasure too.
If anybody wants to order this or any other tape, all they got to do is dial 1-800-828-0397. And with that, I think I'll bid you talented gentlemen good afternoon.
Take care, John. Take care, Grady.
Pleasure, Grady.